What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I am your co-host, Dominic Smith. Laura could not be on this episode, but that is okay because we have a certified baller on tonight. Shot caller. Literally, her last name is how far she can vault into when it comes to distance and feet. She's none other than the legend Katie Moon. Katie, welcome back to the show. What's going on, my friend?
Thank you. Good to see you again. Thanks for having me back.
Honest to God's truth, there's so much that's changed since the last time that we talked.
Yes,
You were Katie the jock
I was.
the last time.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, you've won some more hardware. And John Anderson said this about Mondo Duplantis, and I feel like the same thing goes for you.
Oh, gee.
Is you're gonna vault so high one day that you may come down with snow. Like that is
I appreciate that. Anytime you're comparing me to Mondo is a good day. I don't know if I'm worthy of that yet, but I
you
appreciate
are.
it.
You are.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, that is absolutely worthy for sure. Just every time, just changing the way the freaking pole vault is, just making it. I don't know. The more I watch you and him vault, the more I am convinced I'm not that brave. Like, I am not
Honestly,
that brave.
neither am I. It scares me, but here we are.
Here,
I got hooked too young. Can't quit now.
no, literally, you're going to be the first woman to vault on the moon, essentially. So, um,
Thank you.
but you've been on the show before. You already know the drill. You know we don't take anything serious on here. But what is serious is the awesomeness that you continue to display on a day in and day out basis. So, because it's the holidays, there are some people who want to celebrate the amazing things that you bring to this world. First thing that's going to be done, you get to roll into any restaurant that you'd like to, and they're going to make whatever meal and I mean, it could be crazy. You can go into a Tulsa diner and they can make you a Cleveland staple. That's just what we're rocking with. It
Okay.
is the meal, and they're going to make it gluten free and
Ah, that
and
changes.
stuff.
Because
That
I was going to
changes.
say, is it gluten free or not?
Yes, it is gluten free. So that's the first thing that's going to be done for you. The second thing, when athletes are doing great things, they get put on a Wheaties box. But there's been this internal fight with all the cereal brands because they want you to represent them, but you get to pick any cereal. And if it's not gluten-free, they will make a gluten-free version of the cereal that you will be featured on. So you pick the cereal, and I'm curious. It is Countdown to Christmas on the Hallmark Channel. So this is just a personal one. I had to mix it up a little bit. If you want it, and you don't have to know that you could pick any actress alive, but they're gonna make your story a countdown to Christmas. So over the river and through the moon, something, something Christmas like that. It's gonna be something crazy like that. Um, you get to pick the actress. It could be any actress in the world. Doesn't have to be a one related to Hallmark. So
Okay.
we need this gourmet meal. We need the cereal
Okay.
actress.
Okay. Um, I'll do cereal first because I eat rice checks pretty much every day. So I think I have to say rice checks. It's my favorite. It's gluten free. I have that just about every day. So
Okay.
that cereal that I would choose. It's not maybe as fun as some of the other sugary ones, but I love it. I eat it every day, just about. Um, okay. As far as my favorite meal, gosh, I in gourmet restaurant, I would probably go to because I'm a huge sushi person.
I
So I
remember.
would go to like a Nobu and be like, give me your best, most expensive sushi. Like
Okay.
just something super gourmet like that.
Hey.
Um, and then the actress, and part of this is that I have been told when I was younger more, but that I was told in different instances that I look like her, which is a huge compliment. But Emma Stone, I would probably have her do it because I think everything she is in, she's brilliant in, and she's funny. And yeah, but I remember I was at a college party and a guy just I was walking from one room to another and a guy sitting on a couch just grabs my arm and was like, "You look like Kat from Superbad." And then I just kept going. And then somebody else at a totally different time said, "Hey, you look like that girl from Zombieland." So like they've said, but Kat from Superbad, but blonde. Like so, I'm like, I'll take that because I think
Oh,
she's amazing. So,
oh my gosh.
oh, she's the first one that came to mind.
I think I would, somebody grab me on the arm at a college party. I,
Yeah, I was definitely a little like taken aback, but when he said it, I'm like, I'll okay, sure, I'll take
it's like,
that as a
okay,
compliment.
appreciate it. Keep your
Yeah.
hands, feet to yourself, basically. Man, I guess it went down in Ashland back in the day.
Actually, that
Shout
was
out.
at the University of Dayton, so
Oh,
uh,
even better, Dayton.
yeah, Ashland, yeah.
Okay. Shout out to the Flyers. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Flyers and everything. Okay. Listen, we always got to give Ohio some love, man. Okay. So I can see that. I think, you're, you are the more athletic version of Emma Stone. And I don't even think it's really close. I would love to see, everybody's trying to like portray movies and, athletes and stuff. I want to see one about a pole vaulter because you can't fake the pole vault. Like that's not like even if you got a stunt double.
Yeah, that'd be tough to film them coming down and then filming the ball as a different person and then landing as them. It'd be a little tough. I could be your stunt double though. That's fine.
Yes, just okay. Who was the stunt double? Okay, the actual person she was trying to play was her stunt double. So I would actually love to see that because they're like, oh, like in certain movies, actors and actresses will do mixed martial arts and they'll do various training, swimming or whatever. You can't do that. There's certain events you can't do that with, and the pole vault is number one.
Yeah, I think that would be a little tough, but
A little tough. So actually I like that comparison. I've never heard of that cereal before.
rice checks,
I've
like
never
pork
heard of that
check.
cereal.
It's gosh, yeah, they have like a bunch of different flavors and varieties of it, but it's a blue box and they're just little squares like with the and so when you get Chex Mix,
Okay.
the little squares, that's rice checks or
So it's
corn.
more of a savory cereal. Oh, I've seen this before.
It'd be like it's in I would say it's in the realm of like Cheerios because I
Okay,
do Cheerios a lot too.
okay,
But
so they
it's not overly sweet by any means.
so they take the flavor out of it basically.
Well, with Chex Mix, they make it super salty. With the cereal, it's just the Chex. I don't know.
Okay, no, no, I got you. I got you. It's nothing that I'm gonna eat, but I got you.
That's
Because I
fair.
was because I was and that's not I'm glad that it's gluten free.
I
Like
was eating it before it was gluten free, but I was never the kid that was adding sugar to my cereal. I liked the less sugary ones. So that for me, it was like I liked Basic Four growing up, which is I can't do that anymore because it's not gluten free, but that's the one that has like the cornflake, the raisin, the yogurt cluster, the almond. Like I don't get me wrong, I would eat Lucky Charms and things like that, but my siblings were way more into the Reese's Puffs, things like that.
I don't know if I've had basic four before. It sounds so familiar.
It is, I feel like it's just not as
It's not popular,
talked
no.
about with push as some of the other ones, but
It probably should be for heart healthy reasons because
yeah.
everybody's like,
Yeah.
because you see all these Honey Nut Cheerios commercials, and I was looking it up as you were
I
talking.
and I love Honey Nut Cheerios, don't get me wrong, but
But I was the opposite. I would get a Rice Krispie treat cereal because they don't put the. It's honestly, if you ate a Rice Krispie treat cereal, there's no flavor to it.
I see, and I like Rice Krispie cereal without adding sugar or anything to it. That's my
I
and that's kind of Rice Chex. It's a
okay.
simpler taste, it like sweetness level, I guess.
So you didn't add anything to it?
Nope.
Okay, we were opposite because I I didn't. Now that I'm older, I'm mortified, and thank God I didn't eat it all the time because I would have had diabetes as like a 10-year old. Um, but I used to put so much sugar until my mom watched me one day, and I had to pour it all out. I was devastated. Um, but I did have the Rice Krispie cereal by itself one day, and maybe I put a little bit of sugar in it. It actually is not horrible.
No, I love it.
So.
I definitely like because the thing is there is sugar in it. It's not completely,
Yes.
but so I think that's but yeah,
So,
it's not maybe as exciting as some of the other ones, but I love
I, I mean, it's one of the main reasons why you're vaulting
it.
from here to the
That's it.
galaxies
That's
far,
it.
far away. Oh my gosh, I ain't mad at it. I knew the sushi was going to be the answer. You just got to roll in somewhere and just, I'm surprised that they don't, when you go back to Cleveland, that you just can't have a boat of sushi waiting for you.
Maybe I could if I tried hard enough. I don't know. I gotta get my agent on that or something. But no, I mean, there are some really phenomenal Cleveland restaurants that have been very, very good to me. So but my favorite food is sushi, Asian food. So
I will say Cleveland is known for its industrial. I think, remember the first time I visited Columbus. Um, when I got off the plane, it was what I thought. Brown grass and smoke from coals.
gotcha.
Then you get into the city and it's like, oh, this is different.
Yeah,
Like it is different. And Cleveland is like that. Like,
I I
like,
well, I love that it has such a negative just like people that aren't from there have such a negative view about it and like just hate on it because being from there it's like oh it's my secret like it's
yeah,
this is my place like you just don't get it and
no.
that's okay but every time I bring someone to visit they leave going Cleveland is awesome like I wouldn't they didn't expect it they were ready to hate it and they loved it so I think there's just it's one of those places where so many people grew up there and stayed there. And
Hmm.
obviously, people come in from outside, but there's just so much hometown pride. People love it. And there's just a sense of camaraderie there that, like, just around the sports teams. And it's really cool. And I feel like compared to what it was, maybe 20 years ago, sure, it's definitely come a ways, but it's fun. I love it.
It's a lot of people just think of Ohio like that. And there's certain parts of Ohio that are just straight coal industrial and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Cleveland, I read a comment on Instagram, and the NBA All-Star game was in Indianapolis, and everybody was unsatisfied with it being there because it wasn't enough luxury hotels, all these first world problems, basically.
Right.
Um, but somebody said nobody's gonna be like, hey, let's take a weekend and let's fly out to Cleveland to hang out. I was like, oh, if you've been there, you may think differently. Cleveland's not like LA, but
Yeah.
nah,
And
Cleveland's pretty
that's
cool though.
okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like you said, I kind of love that it flies under the radar and it keeps it great for the people that get it. So
Speaking of Cleveland, how about the Cavs? Now, granted, as we're talking,
oh,
by the time this gets posted next week, there is a good chance because I'm mentioning the Cavaliers being 13 and 0, they
it
will
probably will
probably
be.
lose. They
Yeah,
lose, but
that
how
sounds
crazy is that?
oh,
Like,
it's so fun. Gosh, I love rooting for all the Cleveland sports teams. And it's been a little tough with the Browns this year. So
you,
having the
you-
Guardians do as well as they did, and then having the Cavs just kind of run with that, it's like, oh, this is fun.
here's the thing. Somebody told me the other day, they're from Ohio, really like Hillard, Ohio.
Yeah.
Um, with Cleveland, it's the Ohio State football team. Like they've given up on Cleveland football. Cleveland basketball, cool, but Ohio State is the adopted.
You know,
Um,
yes, but at the same time, it's kind of always, since I've been alive, it's kind of always been like that with the Browns. And you just, we're fans through and through. And even when it's rough, like we're still going to watch every Sunday and we're still going to get our hopes up. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State, it's nice that they're doing as well as they are. So
I will
give
tell you this. Nothing
football.
gave me false hope about the Cleveland. I'm not even a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm a huge Ohio State Buckeye fan, and getting a chance to cover the team early on in my career just enhanced that. But nothing gave me more false hope than Jameis Winston's first game starting for Cleveland. Because I was like, all right, like they
Yeah, we
may
had
turn this
shot.
thing around.
Right. I think we were all excited. But
Then he turned around and threw three interceptions the
yeah,
next game.
was the Browns. That's
I
just
was,
yeah.
I was
And
like,
I'm
oh.
hesitant to be too hard on any I mean, I'm hesitant to be mean about it because I'm an athlete. No athlete shows up wanting to underperform or lose or have a bad day. So but I'm also a fan, so it's tough.
It is hard because when you're a fan, I learned this about when I was covering Ohio State, and I was never one of those fanatics that's, oh, you suck, you. I hate that.
Yeah.
Um, and I wasn't even like an athlete to, the elite level, but you just think like, dang, if somebody was like clowning on me like that consistently, that would be crazy. But
I can't
um,
imagine. Like, ugh, I
no,
get
like
the tiniest bit of it, but thankfully nobody really cares about pole vaulting enough
that's
to.
really sad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but at least like I've gotten a little bit of it just at different times for different reasons, but as a whole, it's but yeah, I can't imagine just a consistent every week your mental well-being relies on you doing well. That's
Like
yeah.
Daniel Jones from the New York Giants, I remember recently he had a horrible game. Well, he's had a horrible game since he's unfortunately, and that's not clowning Daniel, that's just looking at statistics.
Right.
But the New York fans waited for him as he was trying to get to his car. I was like, oh man, that's a little bit
Yes.
that's a little bit too much. Like that's y'all just need to go home at this
You
point.
guys need
But
to do some soul searching if it affects you this much. Like you need to
yeah,
find something fulfilling in your own lives before, like so that this loss doesn't have you threatening people. Like, my
no.
goodness.
When Michigan beat Ohio State recently, oh, unfortunately, the past 3 years, but the first time, there was a fan that wept. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for. I'm like, dang, like I really hope you're intoxicated because like now naturally, I'm salty because my team lost in the biggest rivalry in sports, but I was
Yeah.
like, they don't need to cry. There's no need to send death threats to coaches. Like it changed my perspective because it's like these are kids. You see
Yeah,
how hard they work. These
exactly.
are athletes. You see, it's like they're not trying to suck. Like
Yeah.
there's probably extenuating factors that lead them to the team being better than them that day. It's like, oh, they're not trying to go. Somebody who's trying to throw a game.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell when somebody's just dogging it. But on the other side, they probably wouldn't make as much money as they do if the fans
Yeah,
weren't so invested and coming out in, droves. And
yeah, that's
so
fair.
there's give and take to both sides. And I understand fans being disappointed, but there's a little bit of a line that,
Yeah, turn on the pole vaulter to make you feel better.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, and maybe, and you're right, the fans do generate the income, but so do the quadruple billionaire owners,
yep.
as well.
I
Now,
would say
if one of those billionaire owners wants to, invest in track and field,
I am all ears. I
uh,
will gladly take that meeting.
especially the field. I mean, I didn't want to start this way, but
Yeah. Like,
How do you maneuver? Speaking of, I mean, we're talking about disrespect, so let's just go on ahead and throw a hat in the ring. You compete in the most difficult, and this was a debate. I think it was Freddie Crittenton that was talking about it. He was doing a poll about what is the hardest event. From a technical standpoint, I think the pole vault is the hardest event because I live in Florida. So unfortunately, we know hurricanes all too well, especially this year. A hurricane has every element, and I just learned in this last hurricane that hit in October that fire could come from a hurricane because something got set on fire in the middle of a storm.
well,
Um, which is
good.
crazy, which is just okay, cool. Now it's something else to add to the prayer
Yeah,
list.
right. Let's just add.
Let's just add. So you have wind, rain, now fire, but snow is the only one that's not into it. The
Sure.
pole vault, oh, this is a crazy comparison. Bear with me. The pole vault is almost like a hurricane, essentially, when it comes from the just the standpoint of having many elements.
Yeah.
You have to have great foot speed, you have to have great athleticism, and then you have to be technically sound in like in every part because you work so many muscles. There are probably muscles that you didn't know existed in the pole vault. So it is in my opinion, from a technicality standpoint, from a technical standpoint, it is the hardest event.
I appreciate that. I agree.
I
I heard people say that, and not just people on the internet. Like I forget where I heard this, but that pole vault and hammer throw are the two technically hardest events to pick up and get good at. They say that pole vaulting, I think it's 16 or 17 feet, and throwing a strike 90 miles per hour and driving a race car at so many miles per hour within control. Those are the three hardest things to do in sports. I read it in a book somewhere a long time ago. Um, so all that to say, I agree. I think every sport, every event in track and field is extremely difficult in its own right. There's no question about that. But for me, it's like, okay, what at having never done it before, people could go out and long jump. Would they do it right? Would they do it very well? No, but they could pick it up. Same with hurdles, same with running. Pole vault, you can't really just pick that up and bend a pole like in one day. Like that just doesn't happen. It takes time. So I appreciate that you see pole vault as difficult as it is because I think it is. But
it's I threw the discus. That was the event between the shot put and the discus. I love the shot put. I hated
wait,
the discus.
insane.
When I was in high school, this is how bad, and I wasn't bad at the discus, but I wasn't great. But I put a dent in a pole in the district championship. Like it is just that. So to even to get that weighted object being the hammer and to toss it around, that's just crazy. Like, no, I no. But the pole vault, there's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Like
True.
in the pole vault, that the thrill of it just makes it so exciting. Like, and maybe I just asked this from an athlete standpoint because I'm looking at how people are restructuring track and field and trying to find ways to make it more inclusive for athletes, obviously get more money, attention, all that stuff. But it's like, what is it going to take for
Yeah.
us? Because the field, this is just maybe because I love the field events and I don't want to, inject too much of my opinion in it. I think it's a little bit of a lazy argument to say, oh, the field events don't sell, but it feels like they don't have a chance to
I
compared to some of the other ones.
well, and I think obviously, yeah, these sprints are super exciting. I get that. The distance events, I mean, everyone runs a mile, or anyone can go out and run a 5K and understands how fast that is. Same with a mile, same with world's fastest man or woman. And so the field events are not as relatable. But when you go to a track meet, if you didn't have field events, in between, it would be I like there's constant action because of the field events, and it's super exciting. The clearing a bar and getting that immediate feedback, they either did it or they didn't. It's like that's I I understand why it's easier to just shove us to the side because, the other events do sell tickets. I get that, but I don't know what the answer is, but I just wish that, at some of these big leagues that are being developed that, field events were a part of that. I know Ryan Krauser talked about starting his own throwing league, and maybe that's what it will have to become, is its own, like we do all these street meets. Maybe we just get some crazy cool street meet circuit that's completely unrelated, but just makes money. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how feasible that is because where's the money coming from? Yada, yada. Like, but it just, I, yeah, it's frustrating because I love the sport so much. And I feel like when they don't really even show us or sell us on broadcast in a way that makes it exciting for the fans. They just show the jumps made after the fact and just almost report on it like news rather than, I will say when Nina and I were going back and forth in Budapest and we chose to tie, there was no other track events going on. So they were showing a lot of that and it was really exciting. And that I understand the competitions last a long time and people can get bored, but if you have good commentators, if you have people that know what they're doing, there's so much drama in field events. I mean, look at the throwing, look at, or specifically the shot put from Paris, and it started to rain, and you're thinking, there's no way Joe's going to come back. But if anybody can, he can, because in the rain, I feel like he's the person that can muscle it out there more than these other guys who have to rely on their speed. And he did it. But it was so exciting. And there is so much excitement within the field events that I feel like can be put out there more. And they're not doing that on prime time.
There's such raw emotion when you show the final parts of the competition. Like first time I saw first of all, if you want a glimpse into how difficult the pole vault is, I always just even compete in high school because we actually have some pretty good pole vaulters. We have some really elite pole vault coaches here in Orlando. Um, but I always say before a track meet, go set up the pole vault pit, and you'll see how crazy that is. Like that, because you're looking straight up, and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's just insane. But when you and Nina were going at it, there was so much raw emotion.
Yeah.
Like you felt anxious
Yeah.
because it's like, all right, she has to nail this jump and everything. And you nailed the jump. I remember a long time ago, I was watching Jen Sir. And she was in a nail biting competition, and she is going to her coach. I don't know how they were able to get the audio, but they're talking back and forth, and it's just I don't know how y'all watch each other. I would just be walking back and forth, pacing back and forth. But there's so much energy. Like it's the stuff you love about sports. Football, you love a 2-minute drill. Everybody loves when it's 4 seconds left and it's on to the kicker. That anxiety. That is the pole vault. Like when it comes to the last or field events in general, when it comes to that last throw, when you're trying to get that last mark, you got one more shot, whatever. That's the intensity of it.
Yeah, I I agree. And so yeah, maybe showing the entirety of the competition, that's when it's good to just like, okay, show who's cleared and then go back to the other events. But as it gets down to it, it gets so exciting. And I think back on was it 2016? Yeah, Rio, when Tiago beat Renault and he cleared an all-time personal best in front of his home crowd, but they were going back and forth, and there's just so much drama in that. And I think people that really didn't understand pole vault but were watching because I was in it just found it to be really exciting because they had the whole meet of just us, which is nice. That was the definite upside of this Olympics. And even Worlds, they always have a pole vault specific feed, which is great. And but I wish there was more real time on prime time and more of showing what's happening while it's going.
I'm not gonna lie, pole vault needs a mall circuit.
Yeah. We used to do the mall vault at Drake Relays and they
But
just brought it back.
no, but you gotta hit some malls. Like
Yeah.
the you got the one at Drake Relays, the one, what's the one in DC? That
Um,
ginormous monstrosity.
I know.
The one in Minnesota or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mall of America.
Mall
Yeah.
of America, like a mall circuit or like a or a public circuit or whatever the case
Yeah.
might be. You're just vaulting. But think about that. That's great advertising. You're vaulting in the middle of something, get the runway, and people can, snack on a chicken tender sub while they're watching everybody. So it's great marketing for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, you are not in Atlanta anymore. You are in Tulsa.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So congrats to Brother Moon, Katie's husband, who is
Thank
the head
you.
row coach at Tulsa. How's it been so far? That's
It's,
awesome.
gosh, it's been awesome. It's been so nice. We've been at a distance our entire marriage and most of our relationship. We started dating when we were both in Pullman, Washington, and then Brad got into chiropractic school and Hugo looked for rowing coach jobs within a driving radius. And that's how he ended up in Gainesville, Florida. And then when he was there for several years, and then his friend from Washington State took the head coach job here at Tulsa and asked if he wanted to be an assistant coach. And you don't pass up an NCAA job when it comes. So
Yep.
yeah, it's been so good just being here. And we bought this house when he first moved here and I was going back and forth, but it's just so nice to be here and make this house a home. And I've been training for about 5 weeks now. And I found that it's just so much easier going to training, knowing I'm coming home here. The community has been unbelievable. Hugo was wearing a University of Tulsa hat when I won the silver. And I ran up and, kissed him with the flag on, and Tulsa Barstool like went nuts. They've been so incredibly supportive and awesome out here. So it's been so much fun.
I feel I feel like this is going to enhance your performance. I
I
I
hope
don't
so.
I don't know because, and it's not to say anything, bad about Atlanta, but
Yeah.
you're a place that's home.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just your routine's different, it's more from a mental standpoint, it's easier to wind down and relax and everything. I think that's really, really cool.
Thanks. Yeah,
Um,
I agree though. As long as I can stay healthy and I'm being extremely diligent about my prehab, rehab, therapies, all of that. So knock on wood, so far so good. But I, yeah, it's funny because I just always assumed that after this year, because I have the automatic qualifying for Worlds in Tokyo, I just assumed that this would be it. And now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel daunting to go to training because it's not keeping me away from him and my dog and just the my family. I'm visiting my family in Ohio a lot more because in my downtime, I can go there instead of having to visit him and kind of choose between the two. So it really is just, yeah, I can see myself going as long as I can stay healthy. I don't know if I'll make it to 2028, but I'd like to. And this is really the first time I felt like, oh, I if I can stay healthy, that's very feasible. So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited though.
Ohio, I don't, how many hours is it? Because it's not that far. It's a whirlwind from Atlanta. It was about 6 hours, maybe from a
Tulsa,
drive. No, no, actually, I got that wrong. I have
it's
no
about
idea what it is from
14.
Tulsa to. It's how much?
It's like 14 hours because we're right above Texas.
What
So
in God's name was I thinking? Like, I'm
I'm
God,
with you
really?
though. And I always pictured it much more like middle, like closer to Ohio for sure, but it's south and it's more west than I had originally thought. But yeah, it's
Ugh.
like 12 hours to Columbus and then another 2 hours north from there. So
Oh God.
it's like I'll probably drive home for the holidays because I'll be there for like 6 weeks. But yeah,
You posted training of you in pain now, which I was like, God bless sister. That's crazy.
it's this is the time
Like,
of year that's not fun at all, but there is something so satisfying about completing a miserably hard workout that you never thought you could before. So I will say that, but yeah, you just kind of suffer through this part.
oh my God. But 6 weeks in the snow in Ohio.
Yeah, there's Ashland has been incredibly accommodating. It's about an hour drive from my house, but they have this beautiful brand new indoor facility that
Great.
300 track. And they've given me, well, I still have to talk to them, but anytime been so accommodating. So yeah, there'll be options.
I'm trying to figure out who are they gonna name. I feel like they may name the indoor track after you and the outdoor track for Trevor, like one or two. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. They've been really awesome. They're doing something that I don't know if it's like secret until it comes out, but they're doing something pretty cool at the school for me and for Judd Logan, which is really awesome. He passed, was it
Yeah.
2022?
Yeah, 22.
I think it was so, or at least 21 going into 22, something like that. But yeah, so it's really cool to just be appreciated by them. And I mean, that place kind of changed the trajectory of my pole vault career. So yeah.
Have you tried the onion burger? Because apparently in Oklahoma, the onion burger is like legit. Can we make like an onion burger with gluten-free buns? Like,
I would love to try that. Those are all things that I like. So I like onions, I like burgers. I don't necessarily love gluten-free bread, but it's better than no bread. So
it gets the job done. I
it
mean,
does. It
it's
does. There's actually, we've been exploring and finding more places out here, but there's a burger place out here that is fantastic and has a good gluten-free bun. So
hey,
yeah.
okay. What's been your favorite place that you've discovered so far?
You know what's cool is they have a completely certified gluten-free brewery. So
Ooh,
all of the beers, all of the food, whether it's fried, anything is all gluten-free. So that's been really fun. It's called Neff Brewery, and it's just so nice to go in there and I can get anything I want. I fried pickles, wings, fish and chips, like all your bar food, but it's all gluten
wow.
free. It's so nice because I very often can't have fried foods anymore because it's usually fried in, flour or in and then shared in a fryer with other things, even if it's not. So that's been really cool. Gosh, where else? There we went to a really nice steakhouse. We had a gift card called Mahogany Prime that was great.
Ooh.
There's a place called Juniper that's really good that has good gluten-free options. There's a cool like food truck. Um, is it called Mother Road Market, something like that, where it's just like this big industrial warehouse that's filled with different food counters. And so, yeah, we're exploring, we're finding things. It's really fun. That's one of my favorite things to do is, dress cute, go out, have some good food, drinks, whatever. And so I'm getting to do that, which is nice.
You seem so happy now, and that's not to say you weren't when we first interviewed or when I saw you last year at pre, but you seem like so happy and full of joy and just like I don't know if it's like the Christmas season or
It's
um
that's definitely a part of it. Winter fall is my favorite time of the year. Winter is a close second, which I know is not everybody's favorite, but I love it. I love Christmas time. I love the snow. Yeah, I'm a cold weather girl for sure. But no, it's just like I said, it's just so nice to be here, and it just feels like it was so worth doing. It was absolutely worth the sacrifice, but it wasn't anymore. And
Yeah,
so I'm glad I did it because it allowed me to be all in and achieve what I dreamed of.
yeah.
But it just wasn't worth it anymore. And thankfully, my coach is super understanding of that. And but yeah, yeah, I feel like just a fresh start. It's super fun. It's pretty great so far. So
What is, so I'm going to ask this couple track and then we'll wrap it up with some Christmas. And then, as I told you before, you can throw some stuff back at me. It's all good.
sure.
Um, what are you excited the most about when it comes to this upcoming season? What excites you the most about this upcoming season?
Um, I I think it's just that the weight of the Olympics and then repeating it, like, there's all this expectation. Will you do it again? Will she be able to win the gold? Will she be able to defend her title? And so there's a sense of relief in that, no, I didn't defend my title, but I walked away having a great day. My season was incredibly tough. And so to walk away with a medal feeling like I had a great day. And there's almost this pressure that comes off me now. And it's kind of nice because I've proven myself. If I never do anything again, I genuinely feel like I've done enough.
Yeah.
And so now I just get to kind of have fun, see if I can. I'd love, I know I'm on the backside of my career, but I still feel like I could jump higher. I was pretty high over 480 and 485 at the Olympics, and that was after a season of struggles with injuries. So it's like, okay, if we now we can just kind of have fun with it. The pressure's off. Like, no, yes, of course I want to defend my outdoor world title, and so that gives me something to focus on. But it's more just, okay, let's just go have fun. Let's just do this now because it's fun and it's something you get to do, not something you have to do, which is how it would feel a lot, especially being away from Hugo. So yeah, I think that's the thing I'm most excited about, is just to see with this kind of mentality if it can last, first of all, and second of all, just what we can do with that.
I think it could last a long time because
I hope so.
it's great. It's not just that the Olympics were last year, it's that because of COVID, there was no real break.
For sure. That was the hardest part. I really felt like that was the toughest thing.
Like 2019, 2020. I mean, you can't really count it as a break.
Yeah, because we were
Um,
still training like
yeah,
it was going to be an Olympic year for most the preseason, some of the winter, spring. So yeah,
yeah. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 6 straight years of
and
just a
25.
constant and
Yeah, I mean we
yeah,
got another one,
25.
but I think after the Olympics, people kind of
Yeah.
settle a little bit. So
Do you think it's better that it's in September compared to August, or is it because that's the one that trips me up? Because I'm like September 13th through the 21st, kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, it's definitely a long season. But I think as long as you plan accordingly and prep accordingly, like I'm not gonna jump until February, and I may not even do a full real indoor season. I'll go to Milrose. That's the only thing I have planned right now. And then we'll kind of just take it meet by meet going to outdoors. So I think if you plan accordingly, um, it could be good. I like that it's the last meet. It's just there's something about having to continue competing after the major, the biggest one, that just is sometimes hard to hang on. But so I do like that the most important meet is the last meet this season. So, but we'll
yeah,
see.
but it's like, come on,
It's a
can we
long
get it?
season,
It
so
is. It's like, dang. when World's End is going to be the first day of fall,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
think is the 20, usually the 22nd of September. So it's like that's crazy. If I have to start playing Earth, Wind, and Fires, if I'm competing when it's time to play Earth, Wind, and Fire September, that's a
That's
little crazy.
right.
That's kind of crazy, but it's all good. I feel you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you're coming off of, and that's not to discount the 2025 season, but you're in a new place. You're healthy, A, but B, your environment has changed, and now you're there's no restrictions, no limits. You can actually compete. So if, God, I don't think it's your last year, but if this is it, it's like, man, let's just go out and let's just ball. Like, let's
Yeah.
just go out and have fun. I feel like
It goes
this,
well. It's not going to be my last season, that's for sure. Like it
yes,
really, it will have to be very, very apparent that like this is it. Like whether
yeah,
my body just can't hang on and I can't do what I need to do, or I just fall out. Like it will be pretty obvious. But yeah, I got a good feeling about it. So we'll see.
I feel like you're like LeBron James when it comes to longevity. And
Hey, I don't. We'll find out. This is when you find out actually what that longevity looks like. So,
yeah, dude's like 78 years old, still popping still popping triple doubles.
yeah.
Like that's just mad to me. What is your favorite Christmas tradition or holiday tradition, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever?
So my favorite tradition. So what we've always done is Christmas Eve, we will go to my mom's side of the family, do Christmas with them. It's a little dressier. And then we either go to midnight mass or we wake up and go to mass in the morning. And then Christmas Day, it's just us with the family, and my mom will cook like steak and seafood of some sort, either lobster or crab legs.
Oh,
And then in the evening, we go to my dad's side, which is he was one of six, and they all have several kids, and some of them have kids, so it's just chaos. And so just the whole 2 days is so fun. I love my extended family. I love getting to see them. And so it's just everyone's home for that. So that's just the whole 2 day span is my favorite.
what are you guys doing in your new home to make it kind of put your personal holiday touch on it?
Well, funny enough, we are leaving before Thanksgiving to go home to Cleveland for Thanksgiving. And actually, Hugo's mom is flying from England because they don't do Thanksgiving. So she'll get to experience it, which is really fun. And then I'm just staying up there through Christmas and New Year's. So I love the idea of decorating, but I'm not going to be here for it. So to pull it out and then have to put it away immediately
Yeah.
home. I know last year Hugo put up the tree. We have a tree here, and he put it up, and I wasn't even around to see it, so I was pretty excited he did that. But yeah, he'll come back for a few days just to finish out the semester. But at, I have an event that I'm doing the first weekend in December, so by the like 3 days later, it wouldn't make sense for me to fly back when then I'd fly right back with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna do much down here, but we'll definitely get festive up in Ohio.
You gotta put up the tree though.
Yeah.
Like even if anything, like just if because putting a tree, you could take that down anytime. Like that's not a problem. But you gotta put up like the first year in the crib, you got to put up the tree
I
and
know.
listen to some music, drink some. Is eggnog? Do they have what do you make of eggnog?
I like eggnog. I can't drink a ton of it because it's really thick. And so for me, like if a drink is too thick or too sweet, like I can only do so much of it. But I've enjoyed the ones that I've had. I don't know what it consists of though, so I couldn't tell you if it's gluten free or not. I would think it is. Most, especially liquors, alcohols are gluten free because they are not beer, obviously, but
Yeah.
liquor especially are they're distilled to a point where it's not. So, uh, but yeah, we'll. we'll have fun with it, I'm sure.
You gotta put some you gotta put some brandy into the eggnog.
Oh, okay.
Kids
What's
under
what's
21
your
don't listen to
what's
this.
your holiday tradition? What do you do for Christmas? What do you do for the holidays?
So it's just me and my mom, which I love.
Yeah.
Um, so I get Christmas started early because I live in Orlando. I need hope because it's so hot. So my lights go up the first day of fall, just in my room.
I'm with you.
Then yeah, and then I start incorporating little Christmas music. I got the Boys to Men holiday playlist on Pandora.
Nice.
Even though it's so funny because I remember um there's some songs that remind you of like the 90s and
Yeah.
everything. And we're I'm 30, we're around the same age and everything. So you know like the classic jam. So you can kind of like bop while you're putting likes up and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Um so um so you do that, you listen to that, then October hits, put the mini trees up and everything. I actually have two trees up right now. It just in my room. My room it gets lit. I got the little black Santa Claus that somebody randomly gave that to me. It's him,
Amazing.
Coco with a book. Huh?
Is that amazing?
Yeah, named it Stanley. His name is Stanley. So I named it and everything. You know you got to get the candles. So you know you got to get the candles, got to stock up on them candles and
I'm a
everything.
big candle girl. Hugo's like, you bought more? I'm like, yeah, but we didn't have the scent. So
No. Big Hugo got to realize you got to have your Thanksgiving candles and then you got to have your Christmas candles.
they are different.
They are different. It's a different smell.
Yep.
That cinnamon, apple, all that, that's Thanksgiving. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm
The
hitting up.
Christmas tree scents, those are
Yes.
they're the best.
Yes. People don't understand that. Y'all need to get hip to that. You got two sets of candles. You can't buy them at the same time. That's why they don't put them all up
That's
at the
right.
same time. So
Yep.
shout out to Target and Home Goods. Get me right every year. Just come on, sponsor the show because I give y'all
Bath
enough
and
money.
Body Works has taken so much of my money.
Listen, that needs to be an endorsement deal for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Please sponsor my candle addiction.
please listen, she's a gold medalist. Um, but yeah, but like during Thanksgiving, man, I love cooking. So we get started a day before.
Nice.
And so sometimes like we'll go to my family's or before my uncle died, there was one time we had the whole family here, which was great. But yeah, we get it cracking, we cook. We always do something a little weird, everybody do traditional turkey. We've had barbecue, like I've had pulled pork and
Ooh.
brisket.
Like
Um,
that though, because I'm not a big turkey person. I love the sides, and I like that, okay, it's turkey, it's part of it, but it's of all the like for Christmas we do a roast. Like I much
yeah.
prefer that, but
We do turkey drumsticks,
ooh, okay.
but we braise them in a gravy. So it's Campbell's chicken soup, not Campbell's chicken, cream of celery. I can't give away the entire recipe.
I was gonna
Um,
say you got to keep it secret.
yeah, and some other things. So it's different. And then you always want like a little meat. We'll do ham, but I like mixing it up too. And I'm with you. Like Thanksgiving, we may do turkey drumsticks, but we've done Cornish hen before.
Ooh,
Um,
that's
different things.
fun.
Yeah. Oh
What was
yeah,
the hardest one to make?
Cornish hen.
Okay. Wouldn't even know the first thing about that. So yeah, I'll take your
Me,
word
ne-
for
me neither. It's these little hens and everything. Sometimes it's like it depends on where you get them because they could be really gamey.
it. Mm,
But yeah, like we'll do that for Christmas, and I prefer that. Now we do something a little crazy. We cook enough and we freeze it so I don't have to cook again like that on Christmas. That you can enjoy the day. But no, we get down on Christmas too. This year we're tampering with creating our own desserts.
okay.
So we'll do like peach cobb or like something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, after that, I have uh all my Christmas music. I have 200 and something Christmas songs. It's like 200,
Nice.
250 different versions. We
That's
crank it out, we decorate the outside and then the inside. And then it's at nights like the sun goes down. So when 5 o'clock hits, everything and it's just like the most beautiful scene in the house, at least to us. Then
Yeah.
Christmas Day, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we go to family house, but I don't think I come out of pajamas, maybe for dinner or whatever the case might be.
Yep. That's pretty much our whole Christmas day until we go to my aunt's house. But yeah, it's the
Because
best.
and you enjoy the day, and then you watch the movies. Like it's not time for Home Alone and stuff yet. I like to wait just a little bit. But you crank the Hallmark movies, the ones that you can stand
Yeah, definitely. The
and
Netflix
stuff.
movies, the
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I'm just glad that we share this love of the hall. I don't know what it is, man. It's just
It's just the best. Ah, it's the best time of year, and I just will fight anyone that for me, winter is better than summer.
it is.
I just like it so much better, and so many people will disagree with me, and that's fair, to each their own. But track
But
aside, the fashion's better, the vibes are better, the holidays are better. Like it's cozy season, you got a fireplace, you're bundled up, and you're watching the snowfall. It's just the best.
I live in Florida. We don't know nothing about snow like that. It
I grew up
snowed.
skiing, so I like the snow, but I get it. I get why people hate it. It's cold, and I get to the end of it, and I'm like, okay, we can have spring now. But
It snows in Tallahassee.
really,
Um, yeah, my family that live up there, they've sent videos of flurries,
okay,
actual snowfall. So it does snow in Tallahassee. But no, there's nothing like I have so many long sleeve things, and it's been 80 something degrees. Thank God we're having a cold front.
yeah.
Next week's gonna be the big front, but it's been in the 80s, and I'm like, you know what? Doggone it, I'm gonna deck these halls even if I fall out somewhere. So I don't wear like a I don't wear
That's
like a hoodie, but like
that's
the
cool.
fashion, like the vibe is better. Like everybody is I don't know. There's just something different about it. The summer, everybody's musty and it's just irritating. But it's
Boiling when you're
something
outside, and then you're freezing when you're inside because the air conditioned cranked, and you're in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's just
exactly.
uncomfortable everywhere.
But then you go outside and you go to various events during the wintertime, and it's just you see all the lights, you see just everybody's a little nicer. I always say, listen, from November 25th to December 25th, that's the nicest this country in this world will be. But as soon as
That's
November 20,
like 2 days before Christmas at the mall,
oh
then
boy.
you get some not so nice people, but otherwise it's
So yes, oh God, I have seen there was a video of a car backed out. He wanted the space. He pushed the car, he floored it and pushed the car out of that space. It was viral. I'm like, people crazy. But the world is a great place except the holiday saints, the people who only go to church on Christmas and New Year's, and Easter.
priest or
Yeah.
Christian. Yeah,
Yes, the holiday saints.
yeah.
Because it goes down when people looking for a seat
Gotta get
in
a
those
seat.
services.
Gotta get there early.
Yeah. Um, and then those last minute Christmas shoppers.
Yeah.
If you're
But
getting a gift from me, just know that you got it in July.
that's fair.
Because like the summer sales are like then and everything's cheap. It's like, all right, if I wait, this is gonna be too much, man. It's
Yeah.
just gonna be too much. I got one more for you. Like, what
Yeah.
is the Christmas song that when you hear it, I'll give you what are two of them?
I was gonna say, because I feel like it just depends on the mood, but obviously being on TikTok, I feel like these couple ones are going around. Obviously Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, especially like when it first, like when by the end of the Christmas season, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. I gosh, it just gets you right in the mood. I was a 90s kid, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC is a classic.
Oh yeah,
But
it's a
then I like
wonderful
some of the,
feeling.
yeah, but then I like some of the older ones, like the crooners, White Christmas, and uh the one that starts chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
The Christmas song.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's it's hard to pick one because there's so many good
there's so many good ones.
but
I have like four. So the biggest one is both versions of the Temptations' Silent Night.
Oh, great.
They have one when that's more authoritative when Dennis was like, in my mind. I'm like, all right, let me go get that tree up real quick. And then they have the most beautiful is of Eddie Kendrick's. It's just beautiful. And it's just this slow mellow of him singing Silent Night. NDRE and Tori Kelly have a song called Favorite Time of Year.
Okay.
That one. Nat King Cole's Caroling Caroling. And then Frank Sinatra's I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
a
Luther Vandross every at Christmas time. Like when those are it, I don't care what's going on. I will stop a podcast episode just to pick up.
I will say too, I've seen Trans-Siberian Orchestra a couple times.
Oh,
Their main song, and the name is leaving me right now, but when their main
what is it?
starts
Carol,
with
was
the
it Carol of the Bells?
starts with the Carol of the Bells, and it basically is the Carol of the Bells. That just chills all over. That's probably my favorite, and it's just so good.
I'm jealous that you saw them because
They're
I love them.
It's phenomenal. It's just they do like the light show and you get the rock guitarist with the long hair but in suits and there it's so good. Highly
Listen,
recommend. If you have the chance, go see them.
I hope this episode got everybody in the Christmas spirit
I
and
hope this
everything.
airs before Christmas because otherwise it's
This is aired
make
next
a
week.
lot of
Oh,
sense.
well, it's no, we're recording this Thursday, November 14th, so this will be published the following Tuesday.
Okay.
So this is your final warning. It's not too early to put up Christmas stuff. You better get your likes up. It does not make sense for me for that people, this is my last name. It doesn't make sense that people will wait till after Thanksgiving to put your tree and everything up when you only have just a few weeks to enjoy it.
I know, but I understand like I get the sentiment of like, okay, let's do things like I like Thanksgiving, so let's not forget about it. I'm like, you can appreciate both at the same time though. I
Yeah,
There's enough love for the holidays in my heart to go around to all of them at the same time.
exactly. Put a pine cone next to the tree and you can sprinkle and
Right.
everything. This is how we're going to end it. What are you the most thankful for in this holiday season? What are you most thankful for in this holiday season?
There's so many things. Oh, I would have to say, especially now being here, I'd have to say my husband just for being he he chose a job that he still loved but was close enough to get to me easily and he definitely was lonely at times just working in the States and me not being in the same place and his family and friends over in England. So I'm just now that I'm here full time, it just makes me appreciate him that much more and grateful that we're now in the same place. So yeah.
Brother Moon, we love you, man. Definitely. Thankful for everybody listening. Katie, where can they find you on
Ah,
Instagram?
you can find me on Instagram. I believe it's KTNAGO13. And then I'm on TikTok as well. I think that's under Katie Najat. I don't know if they let me change the handle. Um, and I'm on all the main social media forums. So yeah.
Hey, listen, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is being kind and singing loud for all to hear. Hope you guys do that this holiday season. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll catch you next time.